the ultimate goal at the end of your funnel is whatever that goal is for you is down there, right? So,
Right.
but this is all what you're doing to get down there. So if it's like music, influence music, whatever, you got to figure out what your priority is, and then you got to build around that,
Right.
and then brand on that and take people on a journey. And that's what the artists that are really successful right now, that's what they do.
This is James Rosseau, a.k.a. Trig, and let me welcome you to the Corling Solutions Show. How would you describe what's different for artists from 2019 and now? What would you say, man, this is so different as it relates to artists and how they manage their careers now?
Man, well, content is big now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we all know that. I've seen a lot of artists that were doing great before that that have had a hard time adjusting to the content demand.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think we're reaching an era now where it's not as like the robustness of it. I think can come down a bit because people aren't consuming that high now. We're out of they really want the live experience. I think some artists have kind of gotten so used to the content side,
right,
that they've forgotten, like, yo, this is really about you being in front of the artist or the
being in front
fans.
of the audience. Yeah.
So like that's the real goal. This is just to help them get closer to you. So I think it's definitely, it's obviously shaped how we do things. I mean, everything's a lot more virtual now.
Right.
Things are moving a lot faster. AI, I think because of the pandemic, AI probably had a chance to be developed quicker because there was a need for it to be developed quicker during that time. So I think that it's definitely shifted how music's done.
How strong is that content demand? Like, how would you describe it?
Man, it's strong. I know the artists feel that because they got to do a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to do as much. I think you just need to, like, you go shoot a music video, you would be out there all day,
right?
Maybe 2 days, maybe 3 sometimes, right? To get different shots. And music videos aren't as much of a big deal anymore as they used to be. What really matters now is the shorts consumption.
The shorts, yeah.
So like, it's almost the same type of work, but you cut it all up, and use different pieces. And I think what we're missing now is there's too much of the performance stuff and not enough like fan building, like not enough like, yo, let me talk to you about something. And Instagram and TikTok have both told me that the lives matter more than the actual just content.
When you say the lives, meaning
like
going live matters more.
Yeah, because it's real time content.
Got it.
Right, and their algorithm just like supports it better. But that's when the fans get like a real connection.
Gotcha.
Right, if you're really talking to them, And I think sometimes you got to remember you're a fan. So look at what you like. Like if you have a choice between an artist dancing around or them talking about something with you, like which one are you gonna? What are you gonna watch first?
How did the art? So I feel like there's generational artists, right? I feel like we have some who've been around for a while, which is a whole nother topic. I think we need to talk about foundational artists, and then we have kind of digital natives. They grew up with it in their hands. Do you see different reactions to the content demand?
From the artists that are used to the old way, I see them having a very hard time with it. I've seen some stuff that looks like a guy that's trying to make a video to make content, and their idea of what that looks like, right? I could tell they're not really looking around and searching too much. So, the trends matter with content. So basically, you could just go look at what's trending and what's going on. Now, mind you, I don't really post content. I just don't really like making content for myself. But and I 1,000% would never have the time. But for the artist, it's got to be built in. It's got to be healthy. It's got to take people on a journey. I think anything you're doing right now as an artist, even if you're just in a mixtape season, right? You all right?
No, I'm dying over here. I'm good.
I'm telling a lot of jokes.
No, I'm good.
No, Trig's dying. No, but I think when you look at like the journey now in music, it's still the same. The overall concept is still the same. Connect with the fan, right? Connect with the fan,
right?
And how do you do that? And so the content part has always been there. It just used to be the live show or going out at a radio station. It just was different. Now it's like you can literally be your own PR person all day long. So what you got to do is look at what are you trying to get people to get behind? What's the call to action? I mean, right? And where are you taking us? So if it's like, man, I'm just dropping mixtapes. Well, that's cool, but what season is that?
Yeah.
Are you in like a turn up?
Yeah.
We going crazy, or are you in like a mood, or is there a topic overall, arching topic that you're covering? Like, what got you to do this? tell the story, give us more. Like, that's what makes you really like artists, right? Is the depth of the artist.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's another story for another day. We could talk about this some other time, but you know, that yeah.
That's good to know though, that the lives are even that much more important. I mean, because I think, well, it's good to know, I think, because I'm trying to be a student of this thing, but I think the man, for the average artist, I mean, some of the folklore was you need to be posting 2 to 3 times per day, as it was.
They do want that still. You know, it's just that's your performance stuff, right? The 2 or 3 times is like a performer.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see it, like the different people that do it, that you could tell they took like 3 or 4 shots, you know, and they just changed like where they sat in the room, or but
or they had a day of recording. You could see that too, right? They recorded a bunch of content,
and it
batch.
Works.
Yeah, it works.
Because all you're trying to do is get one of those to go, right? That's the whole point of that. So at the end of the day, like, you kind of still got to do that to a certain degree, especially if you're new or you're in a release season. But ultimately, in there, you really want, the whole point is to bring them to you so that you can connect with them on a different level. And I think what's happened is people have gotten so like focused on the views that the message is not getting to the people as much as you would hope for, right? So that's why at times when there's a frustration with shows, because it's like the numbers don't always equate to the numbers in seats. Like, people are following you for all different, you know, entry points. So the ultimate goal at the end of your funnel is whatever that goal is for you is down there, right? So, but this is all what you're doing to get down there. So if it's like music, influence music, whatever, you got to figure out what your priority is, and then you got to build around that, and then brand on that and take people on a journey. And that's what the artists that are really successful right now, that's what they do.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to be successful without doing the social piece? Do you have any examples of they ignored doing it and they still are?
I mean, Kendrick.
Okay.
But here's why, though, that works is because he has everyone talking for him and PR is moving behind him.
Yes.
Right. But upstart artists, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sure there's always one. Yeah. Right. There's always somebody.
I'm trying to think of someone in our space who I could say they're killing it. I never see him on social. I'm trying to think of someone who.
I don't want to make anybody mad, but I can't think of anyone.
I can't think of anyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Bizzle takes breaks from social media.
Sure.
Maybe
he
Bizzle
takes breaks.
Yeah, but I can't think of, you know.
He's an anomaly though, because he rarely misses with a song. So it's hard to, I mean.
Yeah, he's just talented.
Yeah, he's so talented. So I would hate anybody think they can ride that one, because he's just crazy talented.
That's what I hate is like, I mean hate in a playful way.
Yeah.
But that's what I hate about when someone breaks the code, because what people don't realize is that's probably going to work one time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's an anomaly. That's someone that broke through. Maybe you could figure out what they did, but at the end of the day, what they really did, in his case, is he built a fan base before all this.
Correct.
That really likes to operate in the more physical anyway. Right. So that his base is just, they're just it's a very hard base to grab. Yeah. And he's got it.
He's an anomaly of sorts. I don't want to dwell too much on Bizzle, but I do think it's important that, you know, again, because a lot of times people see someone and think they can, they should have the same success, or they should follow that pattern, right? And if you think about what he's done, he has songs like Poppin', or what was the one before that? Maybe 2 songs before that, where he's able to pack in a substantive, somewhat controversial, and then message with a Christian worldview, and it still have commercial appeal.
Yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah,
that's talent, brother.
Yeah, it's a lot. You know, it's a lot. That's a challenge.
That's talent.
I mean, you know, I watched Derek go through that challenge. Derek is very. He's inspired by different things, and so when he's putting music out, like his albums, usually if it's not just a single or something that he's doing, typically it's going a direction. Yeah, he gets this idea, he pulls it together. It's amazing how he does it. Yeah. And then it's like a work of art being worked on as he shapes it out. I don't think he's ever like finished the project. I think he's got to points where he's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think he could always add music to his music. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're making music with depth, then you don't have to be as, I think, you know, as like aggressive with socials. But I would say this, like, there's 1,000 ways to do it. there's a lot of opinions on how to do it.
Sure.
I'm just one version of that, but I think you got to do what you feel you can do. If you can post once a day, post once a day. Right. And just figure out how to pace your fans out based on your content. But the more performance you give them, I think the less it impacts. You feel me? Like
versus a live, more authentic in the day of the day of my life type.
Yeah, I think if it's like a performance, but it's like a performance.
Yeah.
Or like an idea, a concept, a video. That's dope, right? Because you're giving people the live version of your song.
Yes.
That's always cool, and that can run forever. But ultimately, though, you want to give people like, man, why did you write that though?
Right.
Like, what made you do that? And I'll be honest, all the artists that I ever fell in love with when I was coming up, they would get on these radio stations and talk about stuff.
Right.
And if I could tell a quick story.
Sure.
Big Pun, when he dropped like the biggest record ever he dropped, that was during the era of the beef with Pac and Big and the East Coast, West Coast. By that time, Pac had died. Big was still alive. And he came to San Diego when I was in the military, but I was on leave. And I was riding around listening to the station. And he was East Coast, right? Like, they were pretty serious about the East Coast, West Coast stuff back in the day.
Yes, they were.
Especially out West. Like, we were real serious about it. So him being there, connecting with the community, talking about his stories, made everyone like him.
Yep.
Regardless. Because you got a chance to hear him from his own mouth, and that's what makes the difference. No matter what, always. That's always going to be the key.
Yeah, that's good.
And live shows is still the number one way to grow fans.